Hello there, Misfiteers. Welcome back to Missing Out Mondays, where we tell you what we're into. Start your week off right. I'm Tauri Jay.
I'm Lex Michael.
Yo, I hope you guys all had a good Valentine's Day. Hope you got your sex on, or you ate a bunch of chocolate, or you just watched TV and chilled out. Whatever you choose to do on Valentine's Day. We personally chose to intake media. Lex, what are you into this week?
I checked out very spur of the moment a movie, Netflix original called Horse Girl, which stars and was co-written by Alison Brie. And I think it's a movie, I knew almost nothing about it before I watched it, and I encourage you, if you have any interest, I encourage you to do the same, go in as cold as possible. But what I will tell you is it is a story about a young woman who experiences a series of sort of inexplicable events that she believes may or may not be tied to possible alien abduction. Now, where the story goes, I won't reveal, because it's a sort of harrowing watch that goes places literally and metaphorically that you may not expect, and it does deal with mental illness to a degree and uses certain potentially supernatural elements as allegory for aspects of mental illness, which, as you know, is something I'm a really big fan of. Again, I don't want to spoil too much. I think this movie is best viewed as cold as possible, but I wanted to bring it up here because I was very pleasantly surprised by it. I knew nothing about it before I watched it. A friend of the show, JQ Salazar, actually checked it out, recommended it to me, and I gave it a shot that very night. I'm glad I did. I think Alison Brie is doing some tremendous work. So I recommend it, Horse Girl on Netflix.
Okay, nice. I spent this whole weekend marathoning this show. It's on Hulu. I don't know if it is just a this weekend thing or if it is commercial free always. But basically, when I watched it, all 10 episodes, there were no commercials. It was dope. Because I don't have that version of Hulu. I got that cheap Hulu, baby. It's created by R.T. Thorne, developed by Joseph Malazzi. And the concept, it's a very YA concept. I think a lot of the news coverage has described it as Hunger Games meets Glee. That definitely hits the mark. It's basically that it's a utopian society. And it is in the aftermath of some great disaster, and it was caused by the advancement of technology. So this city is basically, they don't use any real technology. They have 4 different sectors. There's the nature sector. There's progress, and I forget what the other one is called. And then there's reform sector. Reform sector is where they send all their criminals, and if you commit a crime, then you and your whole family have to move to reform sector. And so they do an annual event to bolster pride and unity between all the sectors, which is they take the top talent from each of the sectors and they have them do performances for all the people in the land. And so the main characters, or a couple of the main characters, discover this small archive voiced by Snoop Dogg. Okay. And they discover hip-hop, and they start to see their own experience through hip-hop and realize that the struggles that people were going through and the way that they were describing their struggles relates to them in current times, and they start to see how far they haven't come in the last, I think they said it's been 400 years. And they start using that to influence their performances, which gets them in the eye of the government, who wants to suppress that type of what they call subversive expression.
All right.
And so it's them kind of trying to express themselves while being seen as people who could disturb the status quo. And it's the balance between their government and them in terms of wrangling in expression, and them influencing the other people in the sectors. And then there's a bigger mystery that starts to unfold as we learn more information about the history of this city. So it's an interesting show. I was describing its intent to my roommate the other day, in that she was like, "So who is it for?" And I think that it is for people, as most young adult content is for young adults, people in their teens, who I think in this current day, we've kind of lost the idea of the history of hip hop, and like that its roots were in fact subversive in a way for people to tell their stories. And I think it's a good way of getting people who are younger and have grown up in a relative time of peace, heavy air quotes,
where you can go to some locations and it looks peaceful.
Right.
Yes.
And give them the historical context of that genre and multiple genres of music, and show how it can be used as a tool for change. So I think it's a really interesting show. I think you have to give it a couple episodes, like, because there's a lot of world building that you really have to do, in terms of like setting up the sectors and understanding what the exemplary is, and like why people are doing what they're doing, and like why the archive exists. So you're like getting a lot of the seed planting for those pieces in the first two episodes. And then you get a little bit of the like teen drama. If you like teen drama, it's got it. If you don't, I think the big draw will be the mystery aspects of it. So yeah, check it out. Utopia Falls on Hulu. Commercial free this weekend, or if you already have commercial free Hulu, then forever. Yep.
Cool.
Thanks. Okay. So what have you guys been into? What have you gals been into? What are you non-gender representing people been up to? You can hit us up on Twitter at Missing Outcast, MissingOutcast. And tomorrow, we're going to be talking about the last movie in this month's series, The Month with No Name.
Branding.
Yeah. We're going to be talking about Last Man Standing, starring Bruce Willis, not the TV show that stars Tim Allen, but the 1996 Walter Hill directed and written film that is a loose adaptation of the Akira Kurosawa movie, Yojimbo. So make sure to check that out tomorrow. Until then, you can hit us up on our personal social media. Lex, where can people find you?
I'm on Twitter and Instagram at the Lex Michael.
And I'm at Tauri Jay. TAURIJAY.
So yeah, can't wait to talk to you guys tomorrow. We hope you had a wonderful Valentine's weekend, or a Galentine's weekend, or a Palentine's weekend, or a Solo-Tines weekend. Hope your Tines weekends was great. Talk to you tomorrow. I'm waving.